Wow, that is cool.
I always wanted a truck like this.
Right.
So I drew it, and now I built it. There's nothing like the feeling of dragging something home from the weeds and building something that looks like this.
Yeah. Let's see if she'll rock a little. Wow, I love this.
Oh my God, look at it. Oh. So we got the carpet in, gauges, new steering wheel. Peace out.
Buffalo, buffalo, buffalo.
You know what? I think he's gonna whack.
He looks really good with a Teletubby in front of him.
With a what? With a what in front of him? Are you okay? Hey, you're on film right now, you know. A what? What?
You look like a Teletubby. Oh, I love you.
Here's my sign, I mean.
I can't look at you.
We're family friends.
I know, but I'm gonna pee my pants.
Don't have forms? No worries. So I've got all my forms made for my 6 additional pier pads that I need. Got my depth stick to make sure that I make them deep enough. I think that's all I need. Got a little cleanup work to do. Sure is nice to have the building done. Well, almost done. Still waiting on Randy to come back and do that last door. I'm sure he'll get around to it. I'm using this one for my pattern because it's relatively round and it's got the full side without a bunch of muck on it, so I can get it pretty much the way it needs to be. I got to make it just a little bit loose so I can get it off. Probably ought to have my tape ready. Ooh, that does not feel like my, it's different. Gorilla Tape changed their tape. They think they can do stuff like that without us noticing, but we notice. Shame on you, Gorilla Tape. This better work better.
We Americans are fond of saying, if it ain't broke, don't fix it.
They can't have that gap like that. There we go. That's more gooder. Some of these bags of concrete are a little hard. They got some moisture in them, but I think it's not too late. What was that? Boy, I am making a huge mess. Come to Papa. Come to Papa. Whew. Yeah. A little too far. I guess that probably could have stayed right there. It wouldn't have hurt anything to get that into my concrete mix. So like I said, this concrete got wet. Man, I don't know about that one. I think some of it's still usable. I'll be the first to know. And I don't know about that one. But, you know, why throw it away without trying at least? And what I'll do is just pull Yunkin over there. We'll pull Yunkin over there by the water. Tilt the bucket back. Cut the bags open and dump them into the bucket. Pull the forks out, add water, and mix. But before I do that, I'm gonna grab my handy little bucket. Gophers irritate the heck out of me. They strike right after I mow and make everything look beautiful. They come along and make it ugly. But the one thing gophers do that is good is they make nice dirt. And I was thinking it might be a good idea to take each of my 6 forms for the 6 missing pier pads and put a couple inches of gopher dirt in the bottom of them and pack it down a little to make the round shape and to keep the concrete from slushing out the bottom. Fortunately, the gophers have been hard at work over here. So we have plenty of free raw materials. I'm just gonna hopefully get enough for 1 form in each bucket. Don't want to overdo myself. And then I'll just have to do that 6 times. But I won't make you watch all 6 loads. Gopher dirt. It's good stuff, folks. They work hard on it. That should be enough for the first one. Let's see. I'd say that's about almost 2/3 full. Make sure my form is lined up with the other rows. That one doesn't look very round to me. These need to be very round. All right, maybe I can adjust it a little bit after I put some in. That might be a little too much. That might be a little too much. I like how round that's making it, and I don't have to worry about the concrete coming out of the bottom. However, I think I will go get a fence post and pack each one of them down. So that's plenty of dirt. Actually, I'll go a little bit less on the dirt. That probably would have been enough for 2 forms. I'll be back when I've got these all filled up, tamped down, and they're all round. So I had an idea, which I thought was pretty good. I thought maybe I should take a little water and put it in the bottom of each of those forms. This is Concrete Mixing Central right here, folks. But I thought I'd put a little bit of water in the bottom of each of those forms and turn that dirt that I just put into the bottom of them into mud. Oh heck, I can just leave that dirt in there. Anyway, I'll fill this up and be right back. Hopefully this won't go terribly wrong and just end up splooging out the sides. No splooging. Need a little more water for the last two, but I just thought that if I kick this up on the sides a little bit, it'll moisten up what I've got up there. I see the water's running out, but I think that it will clot. You know what I mean? It'll kind of clot up on me. That's what I'm hoping for. I think that will help. I just do. I'll get a little more water for those last two, and then we'll go mix some concrete up. Well, as you can see, it started raining. I'm glad I put the concrete in the RoadHouse garage where it's nice and dry, but I'm gonna go give that another stir, and then I'll meet you over there. I'll put you where you're looking down into one of the forms while I fill the first one up with concrete. But I gotta stay on this concrete so it doesn't get hard in my bucket. I have a feeling I'm going to need a lot more concrete. Alright folks, looks like I get 2 pier pads per 4 bags of cement. Third of the way there. That's a lot of work mixing that up in that bucket like that, but do what you gotta do, right? Oh, and before you rush off to the comment section and ask why I didn't just rent a cement mixer, I am a cement mixer. I will say that I think the dirt in the bottom with the little water, the mud barrier thing kind of worked. The only place I see where any water came out is just right there a little bit, but it seems to be holding everything good, and we'll get these other 4 filled up first thing in the morning. Classic Truck Rescue. Kind of excited this morning. The drudgery is over. I spared you guys 2 more. I had to mix up 2 more batches of cement to fill my pier pads, but I got it all done. Man, I slept good last night. Definitely an upper body workout mixing cement in a tractor bucket. But I've been excited. It rained last night, but I'm not worried about that. The rain can't hurt my pier pads. Anyway, I got all 6 of them poured. My molds held up well. Yep. Oh yeah. All right, you know what? It's kind of hard. Kind of hard. Those will work perfect. So I have all of my pier pads in under the house on both sections. The next step out here, get a chop saw set up, get a bunch of 4x4 PT posts, and start putting some legs under. First I'll do this side, then I'll do this side. I got a lot of posts to put under there. I'm gonna have to get out my 10-ton hydraulic jack and lift sections just a little bit. I'm gonna use my new Dovo laser level, and I should be able to set it up out here right in the middle and have my line for where all of my joists go and everything, and where the posts meet and all of that. I think it's going to be very helpful for that. I do these product reviews for a reason, folks. I need this stuff. Anyways, we'll get that set up. But I think I am going to let these pier pads sit in their forms for another day. And I don't know. Comment, should I be taking those forms off now? I'll go look. I'll educate myself about how long concrete needs to sit in forms. Like, is it good to get it uncovered so the air can get to it, or do you really want to let it set up and get solid? Man, that was a lot of work. That's a lot more concrete than the average person would realize, I think. And I got them pretty round. Some of these aren't very round, and I'm just glad to be done with that part. This was a mess, all the weeds, and they kept coming back, and they kept coming back fast. I will go over it one more time and just nip each weed, and then I'm going to lay the plastic down. As soon as I get these uncovered, lay the plastic down, tape it together. I may have to clean that up a little more, but I did get it pretty clean under there, and that was a lot of fun too. Anyway, drudgery's over. Let's get to building this house. I'm looking forward to it. These cardboard forms worked out pretty good. You just have to break them loose. And they peel right off. That'll work.
I was waking up this morning, waking up before it's getting 9. Kinda heavy on my shoulders, tracking down some moments back in time. I could swore that I was in it, down to every minute. Don't know what I was sipping, but I felt like I was doing fine. Oh my. Turns out that I just got a little bit south, just a little bit north of the Georgia line. Do it again. Little too much love and comfort, hanging with my friends, all playing games. We all started at a full house, ended up just me and good old James. I could swore that I was winning, kinda had a feeling. Last thing I remember, I was drinking till the moon shined. Oh my. just got a little bit south, just a little bit north of the Georgia line.